This is Sujata Singhi. It is a pleasure to have you here with us. And today we have a very, very special guest, Dr. Sujata Singhi. Dr. Sujata Singhi is amazingly talented, super duper educated, and she combines so many different sciences and brings them to us to help us become a better human being and actually, more importantly, lead the lives that we actually want to lead professionally, emotionally, and health-wise, and also communications and relationships-wise. So I can't wait to get our conversation started with Dr. Sujata Singhi. So here is Dr. Sujata Singhi's bio. She is the international bestseller author of the book Power of Sound. She's an international speaker and trainer on sound and spiritual sciences. She's an educationist, and she's authoring the new book, Reclaim Your Riches. Sounds super exciting. And she has not one doctorate, not two doctorates, not three doctorates. You guessed it right. She has 4 doctorates, that is PhD. Dr. Sujata Singhi, she holds 4 doctorates, that is 4 PhDs, from Cambridge University in the UK, Harvard University in United States, HRD India, and these PhDs or doctorates are in the fields of sound and music therapy, wellness, and neuro-linguistic programming. It's short for that is NLP. We might talk about that during our conversation. Neuro-linguistic programming sounds very complex, really sophisticated, but Dr. Singhi is going to enlighten us on that. She is the founder of Music and Emotional Release Therapy, MERT. Well, if that wasn't enough, she also has a DLit in musical arts. DLit is the highest degree, highest academic degree anybody can get in the world. And Thomas Alva Edison had it. So now you know what category Dr. Singhi is in. So she has a DLit in musical arts, and she has been confirmed with the honored title of Boon to Mankind by none other than the President of India, Shri Pranab Mukherjee, in May of 2017. Beyond that, she is the recipient of various national and international awards in the field of sound as therapy and spiritual sciences. She is world renowned for combining science, healing, and music and sound. And that's why I wanted to have her here with us, because I think her knowledge, her wisdom, her expertise is going to provide you and us, all of us, really amazing results, especially in this time of the pandemic. But whatever we're going to learn with her today goes way beyond the pandemic. I mean, the pandemic, hopefully social distancing and everything else is going to end soon, but her lessons and her teachings are going to go way beyond this era and this time. So Dr. Singhi, it is such a pleasure to have you here with us. Thank you so much. She's visiting us from Mumbai, Bombay, India. So thank you. She's working her night shift right now with me so that we have daytime here. So it's a pleasure to have you. Dr. Singhi.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this honor to be on this platform, and the introduction looks quite elaborate. Thank you for that. Well, there's lots. Yes?
Go ahead.
Yeah, there's lots to mankind, far beyond than what we can actually think about. And I always believe that people are born with gifts. We are all born with our unique gifts. We just have to tap on that and allow it to brighten our lives and contribute to the world as well. Because when we contribute, these gifts becomes exponential. Our wisdom increases, our intelligence increases, and the frequency increases from the universe, which allows us to give more to the world when we are in the zone of giving. So thank you so much once again for bringing me on this beautiful platform. And thank you, Jyoti, for giving this introduction.
Absolutely, absolutely. You did all the hard work in the introduction. I just had to read it. So thank you for doing the hard work for us. I'm very, very excited for all the things that you have to present. So let's start with the inner wellness, which includes not only our emotional well-being, our thoughts, peace and calm, especially in this turbulent time. We all, even when we're not in the pandemic time, our modern lives are very, very stressful. So how do we lead a more well-balanced life, not only emotionally, but also physically? And how do the therapies that you work with are going to help us?
This is the need of the hour. The question, you have very aptly put it up now. The modern lifestyle has given rise to all the diseases. We are all aware about it. All the diseases we see around, be it an heart ailment, diabetes, a hypertension, a cancer, anything you name is not natural to our bodies. It is being induced. We have invited it through our mindset, through the stress we have created. So when we have to calm ourselves down, bring ourselves in alignment, it's very important that we first understand our own inner well-being. And when this inner well-being is well addressed, I'm sure all these problems can be solved. And in fact, I can say it can be eradicated once we make that major shift in our consciousness. So when I'm using sound, let me explain a little bit about sound. Sound frequencies are very specific. It is medicine. Like in my blog, which has been written, Sound as Medicine, there we understand that sound is actually medicine, which cannot be seen, but which can be heard, and which creates a great impact on our inner being. And this inner being will actually help us have a positive well-being at a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual self. So what does sound do? I'm sure most of you would be thinking, what does sound do? Sound is sound. So what is it? What's special about sound? Sound is something with which we are born with. The Big Bang Theory, now coming to the science, the whole of the universe came into existence because of the Big Bang. That means sound is our very being. For example, if we have to touch our hearts and we listen to the lub dub, and when it is perfect, we are in good health. If this particular heartbeat, that is the rhythm of life, is not in perfect frequency, is not in the right resonance, then we will be admitted to the hospitals immediately. So this is the importance of sound. The other thing, when the fetus is growing, the first organ which is created outwardly is the ear. That means sound is the first beingness of human being. I wouldn't say it's matter. Sound is the beingness of a human being. And when this sound resonates in the body in the perfect frequency, things get right. You can manifest whatever you want in life. That's how you can activate your own self to that frequency and become a magnet. So Reclaim Your Riches is the book which is going to talk about all the frequencies which you can create through the various steps mentioned there. And once you do that, life would be effortless. You would attract all that you want, and stress would run away from your life. So I hope I've given a little background about sound. We will talk more in detail about how it works.
So what you said is so profound, especially what we as modern, citizens of the world here normally, especially if you're more inclined towards well-being. Thank you so much for sharing the scientific aspect of sound and how it's so important in our lives, and it's in tune with us, no pun intended, with us from the get-go, even in the fetal stages. Now, as I took a few words, as you said, as sound enters our body now as full-grown adults or even as kids, how does it work with our system to create that holistic well-being? If you could tell us about that, and if you could also tell us what should we be doing? Is it on a daily basis or a weekly basis? What can we do in a simple format that we can, kind of bring in all those benefits for us?
Those who would like to know have a deeper understanding of sound, I'll be picking up some excerpts from this book, which is The Power of Sound. So for explanation reason, to touch on those few topics which you have mentioned just now, when for children, be it children or adults, sound affects all of us. Now, often we hear people telling, I get a headache when I listen to some sound. And also find people telling, I feel very relaxed when I listen to certain types of sound. Now, sound is not one. It can be categorized as two. One is sound and the other is a noise. So when there is a noise, the resonance in the body, that is, when sound comes in touch with the human body, there is a vibration which happens and which resonates within our body and then creates a reverberation, that is an action within our body. When this is not in harmony with good health, then the person starts feeling irritated. It becomes a noise. There is a disharmony. And the energy vortexes in the body, they go out of alignment. So when I'm talking about the energy vortexes, I can say that these can be called as the chakras. So there are millions of chakras in our body. Every cell of our body is a chakra. But majorly, there are 4 energy portals. These portals, they have specific frequencies. And each of them are associated to the organs which are in connection to that energy flow. If these particular vortexes are disturbed, the organs functioning gets disturbed. And that is how diseases manifest. And when we give sound, which are very specific, and which is given in proper tunement to what the body needs, what the organs need, then the person gets healed, and it can be also called as a treatment. So sound is medicine. Just playing sound for relaxation is a different story because you're just using it to relax yourself. You know what you like, and that's keeping you calm. That is just momentary. But if we have to go into the deeper aspects of sound, we have to understand what is the underlying frequency of the human anatomy and its conjunction and resonance to the sound which is given, the vibration which is given, the frequency which is given. So sound is profound, yes. And after later on, I would also like to give a small session so people could understand, the viewers could understand how it really affects their own body because it's pure experiential.
Fantastic. That sounds really good. I can kind of almost feel what you're saying as sound kind of goes in, but it does sound like that there needs to be that expert healing hand or that expert therapy that needs to go into our bodies, because it's not any old sound. Like you said, just listening to music may calm you down, but it's not necessarily healing. I want to go in a little bit deeper here, just into your educational part. How did you identify what are the healing frequencies? This is just out of curiosity. What are the healing frequencies that are needed for the body? Like, what was the process for you to learn that, to identify that? I'm sure it was years of hard work, but maybe if you can tell us in a short format.
Yeah, it was an interesting journey because I'm born in a family of musicians. So we're all classical musicians. My 3 siblings, including me, 4. We've all been trained in classical music. So there were some of us who also chose to go into the Western classical. And of course, Indian classical was the base. So understanding notations, understanding tunes was very easy. That was the first aspect. And the other aspect was, because it was ingrained in us, that was something with which we were born. Like my mom used to sing to us. She was a classical singer. My grandmom was a classical trained person. So it is like we were born with it, I can say. And later on, when one episode in the family, if you permit me, I could also tell that what was that episode which made me take this up as a research. Before that, I come from a background of being an MBA. I was a national topper, so it was all like corporate world for me. But then that didn't suit me because I was very clear that my purpose is something different. And I wouldn't like to be stuck in a framework or a limitation, which would only make me do things to help me be having that status quo or whatever. But then, of course, I understood that there is something which has to be done. And when this episode occurred, that is my husband's sister, that's my sister-in-law, she had developed cancer that was acute myeloid leukemia. And she was her blood cells were very large in number. And it was straightaway diagnosed when she was in stage 3. And at that point of time, I saw somebody very closely undergoing pain. I had never seen anybody in pain because my grandparents were away and I had not seen them before they passed on. So everything was, I had not seen this part of life, I can say, basically. And at that point of time, what came to, and it was a whole year of suffering. And because she was around and I was around her and just newly married at that point of time, it was too harsh a reality for me. And the only question which came to my mind is, why do humans have to suffer? In fact, why does anybody have to suffer? Have we come to earth to suffer? And the only solace which I would get was playing my sitar, as you can see behind. I would play my sitar. At that point of time, I would be calm, but again, this thought would keep coming up. And that is the point, I guess, my first healing. I started learning something apart from understanding the scientific aspects, went into the concept of healing, which was in 1996 and 1995. And it started with Reiki. All of you must have, a few of you must have heard about Reiki, but it is pure energy, cannot be measured. And which cannot be measured would not satisfy me. I would always feel maybe it is something to do with the something to do more of a psychology than actual work being done. And gradually I understood that music can also come into mainstream healing, and if found to be scientific, can come as treatment. And my research began in 1997. And the research finally completed with, I can say, yes, 2017. So that was long time, I can say. But alongside from this one research, I could bring out MERT, I could bring out spiritual sciences. So everything connected so well. So I could say it was 4 PhD and the DLit hid in one particular research, giving way, branching out. Because when I started speaking on the international stages, when I started working with hospitals, that is where I realized that I'm using different aspects of the same concept of sound. And that is how it branched out. So now I do it for corporates, for de-stressing, for leadership programs, again, programming, because everything connects. I'll be explaining about how it works on the brain, how leaders become better leaders, how team building becomes easier, how reaching objectives becomes easier, goal setting becomes easier, relationships get better, financial aspects of life get better. Everything comes together in one capsule.
So Sujata, thank you so much for sharing your journey of discovery of human pain, and you took it upon yourself on how you can figure out and combine those elements of frequencies, those beautiful sound vibrations, and help human beings deal with the pain or alleviate the pain. But like a lot of us analytical minds, you weren't resting just by the spiritual aspects or just the general healing aspects to it. You really wanted for yourself to prove these with science, and that's where you delved in deeper. Moving on from health and well-being, I want to go into the aspect of abundance, financial freedom, financial abundance, growth in their careers, growth in businesses, and just a general well-being and peace. And I want to also add not only the financial aspect of it, but also the joy of producing whatever we're producing in our careers and in our life's work. And careers could be for-profit or non-profit, whatever people want their life's work to be. And again, coming back to it, there's so much stress in our daily lives just by being in that rat race. And I just want people's lives to become a little bit more comfortable and joyful and fruitful and productive with less effort and greater results. So is there a way that your therapies can help us there?
Yes, sound has proven to be in existence as a therapy for centuries now. It's more than 2,500 years that people have been practicing sound. We look at the bells in the church, we look at the bells in the temples. So it's all sound. The sound which allows us to be aligned at that point of time when we are in that particular area, the area or the region where this particular bell is. And you must have noticed that when we go there, we find peace. We come out peaceful. When the bell is rung, we feel peaceful. Something happens in our body. Now, what happens in the body is what I would like to explain before we go into understanding how it can help for financial freedom, relationship, for the career growth. Before that, we need to understand there is something within us which needs to be stirred on a regular basis, which needs to be aligned on a regular basis, so that we are able to become the magnet which attracts all that we desire. So when the bell is rung, for 7 seconds, the vibrations which are created and the sound which is heard, it aligns all the energy vortexes in the body. And when they are in alignment, we are at peace. We feel peaceful when we go to a temple or a church or any place where a bell has been rung or where a gong has been rung. You know, when a gong is played, you feel that same peace. Or if it could also be the Solfeggio pipes, it could also be a music concert. It could be any place you go. And when you find peace, you understand the sense of alignment comes in, and the subconscious mind is aligned. That is the reason you feel the peace. Peace is the experience you have, but the underlying work which is happening is your cells are being aligned. The semantics are coming together in the perfect frequency. The heart rate goes down. Clarity of thought sets in. And your body is at rest. So you are de-stressed. So putting in simple words, sound helps you de-stress by aligning your body, aligning the energy in your body. How does it work in relationships? Have you ever thought that when you are relaxed, how would your speech be? How would the selection of the words be? How would your responses to situations be? So often we have seen that we are able to march ahead with our financial goals only when we have the right relationships. And right relationships are possible when we are in the right frame of mind. The right frame of mind is possible only when you are relaxed, when you are de-stressed. And this is possible when you have the right vibration in your body. And this vibration in the body can definitely be put in by the sounds which we create as a therapy or as a treatment. So coming to financial freedom, I would like to, before going into financial freedom and abundance, I would like to talk about the importance of relationship. Because when we are having good relationships, we are able to operate out of a space where we are able to invite people into our lives who would provide us with the opportunities, who would be able to guide, support, and help us to move towards our goals in life. And good relationships are only possible when you are at peace with it. The words you choose, the communication you have with yourself and with others is also highly affected by the stress levels you carry with yourself. If the energy vortexes are all cleared up, there is a right alignment, there will be clarity of thought, there will be a clarity of speech, and it will be backed by an action of loving kindness and support in the hearts of the person who speak, as well as the people to whom you are addressing. So it's very important that we understand that our vibrations are that of positivity, support, help. And when this is the case, our vibration rises and people of similar frequencies get attracted to you, because we're all, after all, magnets. We are all magnets. We create, if our inner circle is strong, we will be able to create an outer circle, which is vibrating in the same frequency. And when that outer circle is in conjunction with the inner circle, that is your core self, then you can truly have your financial freedom effortlessly. You can reclaim your riches effortlessly. You can have beautiful relationships, long-lasting relationships. You can have a stressless life. And not just that, you will also be working with your purpose in life, because when you live your purpose in life, you truly live. So I guess all of you, if you understand this simple concept of vibrating at a frequency of being a magnet, which can attract what you truly desire to be, which is truly your soul journey, which is truly your purpose in life, you can do whatever you want. So first, look at the frequency at which you're vibrating. So I hope this answers a little bit of what we are talking about. And thank you, Jyoti, for putting up such a wonderful question.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing the details and how relationships and our communication to self, self-communication is extremely important, because that develops our own personal mindset, and then our communication with others. And this is what I talk about all the time, because this is what I do as a communications coach to help grow our careers. That communication is going to then lead into stronger relationships. And a lot of leaders in the corporate world, a lot of very prominent companies have said, like you said, hard work is important, and analytical skills are important, and creative skills are important, but your relationships and your interpersonal communication is extremely important if you want to get the career success or the project success or organizational success that you want. So let me just kind of summarize what you just said. You said when our bodies and our cells are vibrating at the right energy, and when we are aligned with our purpose, and we are calmer and more peaceful, that our personal communication to self in our inner circle is going to also align with the communication with the outer circle. We're going to attract like-minded people who are going to benefit not only in our immediate lives, but also going to create abundance, co-create abundance in our careers. And that's how our careers are going to progress, because we're going to be working from inner passion, our inner joys, and our process and our desire to give and provide value to the world around us. Phenomenal, phenomenal. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, can I bring this to our worlds at work? So let's say we have bosses, or we have employees who report into us, or we have colleagues, or perhaps we're vying or working really hard for that one promotion or the bonus or the new job, or we're in career transition, or we're entrepreneurs or run businesses and we want new clients, or we want certain strategic partnerships. How do we take what you are here to teach us and implement it in all those areas for better outcomes?
Yeah, that's very important, because everybody's working. At the end of the day, you need to apply the spiritual aspects practically to build a life which you want in the material world. So when we are looking at these aspects, I would, in fact, I would say that there are two major aspects everybody has to work on if you want to see your life become smooth, and at the same time you escalate in your careers and gain whatever your dream is. First is be very, very conscious. Become a person who lives consciously. Over time, we have become robots. We have forgotten to live consciously. And once we start living consciously, we understand a number of things about ourselves and the environment. When you understand what is happening in the environment, you understand the various perspectives. And the second most important thing after conscious living is mindfulness. Be mindful with what you are doing. The energy of mindfulness is profound. We believe multitasking is good. Multitasking makes you a superwoman or superman. And multitasking, it's actually ego building process, nothing else. So all of us need to understand that when you are doing a task, the maximum you can do is 2 at a time, but these 2 are the ones which are interrelated. They are correlated tasks. Never do 2 tasks which are not of the same category, not of the same place or the physical zone you are in. Because the mind, we are having only 2 hands. But as humans, we have forgotten that. And we think we have 100 hands and 1,000 minds. So we have become superhuman beings, not needed. Because science has proven that multitasking leads to stress. Stress leads to no clarity in thought, no finesse in actions, and no part of conscious living can come in. So mindfulness is one mantra. I keep telling people, whenever people come to me, be it the business heads or corporate heads, I tell them 2 aspects, conscious living and mindfulness. You practice this, see your life change. You become a good leader. You are a boss, yes, okay, but move from being a boss to a leader. You will be able to see the potentials in other people when you start living consciously. You will see people coming up with problems, but at the same time, they themselves giving answers to their problems. All this is only possible when you are living consciously, because you're aware of the environment and you're conscious about your whole interactions. Your intrapersonal skills are at work all the time. And then it becomes interpersonal. But this intrapersonal, if it is very conscious, it is aware of every thought which comes in, then definitely no garbage can ever seep in and no blockages in the energies can be found. And with the newfound clarity, you can definitely take the right decisions. Right decisions, the choices you make will always make you it'll be more of fun to work. Your work will become more of a fun rather than a work, a task. So 2 important things, again, I would try to bring it, is become a person who lives consciously. So conscious living and mindfulness. I have been conducting so many workshops on these 2 topics majorly for this reason, that I have noticed that no sooner they start practicing, life becomes better. So I guess if we practice this, our life would definitely become better and nothing will be a task then. Life can become joyous.
Wow, that's very interesting. And like you said, a lot of us don't realize it. You're so right. We all think especially us women, we think that we have, at least we hope for, like 10 arms like the Indian goddesses, and our plates are on everywhere, right? And we get scatterbrained, and it does cause so much stress. But we also think that it is the need of the hour and our lifestyle. But to your point, it is very important to just focus on the task that you are doing. A lot of us are, you know, typing away or in a meeting these days and still on our emails, or children are talking to us but we're still on our emails or iPads, or we're cooking and trying to do something else, cooking and on a podcast, because I think that that's going to be good use of my time. So we are all culprits of this. I want to understand a little bit more. So from what you said is, if we are doing mindful and conscious living and work, we're going to be more focused. Good work is going to come out. Our energies are going to go in the right direction. We're not going to be so stressed, and we're going to start feeling the joy. What if that work that we're doing is not joyful? What if it is something that we don't like to? Everybody has to do joyful work and not so joyful. Like, you know, that's that's like mundane tasks, etc. What do we do there? And a lot of times, like 60 to 80% of the things that we do, we're not necessarily passionate about, just to kind of move the projects forward. What should we do?
Okay, that's wonderful, because I often encounter such questions as to what should we do? We don't like doing something, but we still need to do. When we are doing something, first thing that we have to address the work as something joyful. It's all in the head, whether you like it or you don't like it. Address the work which you're going to, at the beginning, before you are actually taking the task, before you're actually doing it. Take it as, yes, I have to do it. That have to do it makes it compulsion. You don't like it then. You should say, I love doing this work because this work contributes to my life. How many people would say, I don't like doing the laundry? I don't like washing the dishes. Yeah, we all say, oh my God, so much to do, the sink full of dishes, the dirty dishes, and you have to do it before the night. And yes, but a clean sink in the morning is going to contribute to your mindset in the morning. So we need to look at life in that aspect. That is conscious living. Whenever, like now, I'm in this place where we don't have a washing machine because I'm stuck in my center, the music center. I'm not in my house, and we cannot step out because of the lockdown. I cannot sit here and say, oh, I wish I was at home. I could have done this. I wish I would have stepped out. No, whatever's happened, happened for the best. Right? Because there, our neighbor was diagnosed with COVID-19, and the whole building was sealed down. The whole tower was sealed down. So it happened for the best. We are free here, better. At least we are not in that police security. So we always have to see that where we are is for our highest best one, and it contributes to our life. With this sense, if we do the dishes in the night, in the morning, you see that your kitchen is all clean and your mindset is also clean, because what visions you have in the morning in your vicinity is going to create the same in your head, which you're going to carry the whole day. When you're cooking, you're feeling too tired, you don't feel like cooking. But it's important. Don't look at it as it is important. Just say it's going to contribute to my health. With this change in mindset, this shift is very important. And that is conscious living. So when a person is able to live with that consciousness, nothing is a task which is not light. Be it you cleaning the house, be it attending a meeting with the most boring boss, it's all okay. Because you say that this boss is contributing to my life. So any task done, any sort of a stress, always ask yourself, you made a choice to take up the job, right? And yes, many a times we don't have a choice. We just pick up what is there. So that's perfectly okay. It is still contributing to your life. It's still giving you your bread. So start liking it. And once you start liking your task, it will not be a task anymore. You're going to start falling in love with what you do, because this is your relationship. Like I just mentioned, most important thing in life is relationship. Build relationship with your work. And when you start having a beautiful relationship with your work, you will see that everything within and around you start changing. So it's not having relationship just with your boss or with your other teammates or your colleagues. It is also with your work. Communicate with your work. Thank you for being a part of my life, for contributing to my life. The attitude of gratitude in everything you do, the attitude of being conscious takes one to a long way, long way, in fact. Even in the most turbulent times in your life, it is this attitude which will help you out. This pandemic, yes, thank you for this time of lockdown. I'm able to introspect. I'm able to see things in new light. I'm able to value myself more. So all these things come for a reason. And when you're conscious about these reasons, you make the right choices. You start enjoying every moment. Every breath of yours will be like a gift to you. And every task you do will be a blessing to you.
So this is really interesting, Sujata, what you said about the work that we don't like to do and how we can do it with love. So you said two things which just really jumped out at me, especially, you know, all of us, whether, you know, all of us at certain points in our lives, we do things which we think that are not good, especially there are people who like to push things off or procrastinate. And we have a very hard time kind of doing those things at the right time. So you said two things. First, identify the task that you have to do and say that this is going to move me forward. This is going to be good for my life or my work, whether it's accounting, whether it's writing that really difficult email or memo, it's doing some kind of an analysis, whatever it is that you don't like to do, just think that it's going to move me forward towards my goal, my cause. It's going to be good for my life, whether it's at work or at home. So keep that in mind. Then you said, bring that attitude of gratitude towards that task, because if you didn't do that task, unless you're able to delegate it, there's going to be a hole in the puzzle, right? Every project, right. Every is a puzzle. So that hole, like that piece is not done. Your project or your puzzle will not be done. So you have to be very grateful for it. And just say perhaps that I will focus on it. I'll bring all my love. Perhaps I'll play some good music that I enjoy and I will get this done. And you're saying that if you do it like that, a lot of positivity flows in and you do that job with joy and excellence.
Yes.
Is that a right summary of what you said?
Yes, definitely. Yes, it increases your effectiveness and you become more efficient at work.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I love it. I really do love it. Thank you so much. This is a great insight. Now, I would love to move into the world of relationships. We touched upon relationships earlier when we were talking about our careers, but then we talked about difficult jobs and difficult tasks that we don't like to do. But then there's also difficult people, unwieldy people that we don't like to interact with, or our interactions are difficult with them at work, in life, in personal life, in our communities, etc. And wherever there are people, there's going to be the politics or that rubbing off the wrong way. How do we deal with that to make those relationships cordial? Because you did say that without relationships, nothing is going to move forward unless we become an ascetic and or a sage and go to the top of Himalayas or a monastery and we just kind of be there, right? Solitude. But we're not doing that. We're all living in a community, in a family. How do we learn to work well and beautifully? Not just learn to work friction way, in a frictionless way, beautifully, in harmony. How do we do that with people in our professional lives, with people in our professional lives, and people in our personal lives?
When we are talking about relationships, there are a number of factors which come into play. Because it is not one identity playing by oneself, like you said, the sages in the Himalayas is one identity playing with themselves. There are multiple identities which are coming into your circle of influence. Now, some of the identities you would not like, some of them would immediately you will have an affinity to them and you'll gel well. There are so many things which happen, so many things at play. So have you ever wondered when you go to a party or when you go to an office, you find a person, you immediately have a bondage with that person and you feel like talking to that person. And there are also on the other side, some people you go to a party and you say, oh gosh, I don't want to be hanging around with this person, right? It happens to most of us, right? And then what do? We keep ourselves away. We see to it that we do not connect to those people. And these people are unknown to you. You have never met them, but something about their vibration, something in them which expels you, which repels you. It just tells you that to move away, no need of going to this person. Now, what is it in them which is creating something in you? You are giving your control to somebody else, right? So next time you encounter such a situation, it could be your boss, it could be the person to whom you're reporting, it could be a person with whom you have to interact, your spouse on a regular basis, it could be your children. So everywhere this holds good. The same person can have another vibration at another time, and you will say, last time I didn't like this person, this time somewhere I like this person. So there is something happening there. The chemistry is there, something is happening. So our bodies are like a chemistry lab. Sometimes the composition of the chemicals erupts as a volcano, and sometimes it makes a beautiful new chemical which is soothing to the mind and the body. So relationships are just like that. We have to understand that we have the choice to be neutral. Do not be on a reverse gear or a speed gear or fifth gear. Don't jump to conclusions. The mind is at play when these things are created. So when you are practicing conscious living, again, I come back because I said these two important aspects of our life. When you are practicing mindful living, you will be aware that every time I see somebody and I'm disturbed, that means I'm giving control of my life to somebody. I cannot do that. I need to take back the reins of my life. So you maintain your poise. Have a conversation with yourself that this person with whom I cannot interact or with whom I don't feel good is only here for a reason. I need to finish my task. It is over and out. And next time when you meet that person, please don't carry the same judgment. Go there as a clean slate, because I said every time the vibrations of a person changes. Probably the person has had bad experiences over time, and that has made the person very harsh. But his harshness should not come to you, because you should control your life. You be what you are. Do not allow any negativity to be radiated from that person to you. And the next time when you're going, don't carry that radiated energy back again with you to the room, because that is going to make you shiver or make you go mad when you have to meet that person again. But life doesn't rule like that. We have to meet that person over and over again till you become immunized. I would use the word immunized here because we cannot control everybody in our life. We cannot choose the people in our life. Some people are just there to be doing the work they are doing. So finish your work there and be neutral, always neutral. If the person is good, you will naturally feel attracted, comfortable. And if the person is in a bad state, you shield yourself. You're in your zone, protect your energies. Let it not deter your mindset, because when you get back to your work, you're going to carry it with you. Here, I would like to tell a small story. If you have the time, there's a small story. There was once a person who was working as a manager in a corporate, and his boss had a very harsh day with his spouse. And that day, when the manager went and reported his work to the boss was so angry at him that he just spoke up. He just pulled out all his burdens, the emotional burden, and put it on the shoulder of this manager. The manager couldn't retaliate. He couldn't do anything. He was just left with, what did I do wrong? The report was just right. Why did he do this to me today? He was so disturbed. And with that disturbance, he carried the energy of disturbance. He became the carrier of the burden of the boss, and he went back to his office. The supervisor came in with the day's details. He saw that, okay, I have somewhere where I can take up this whole burden and push it on. And he transferred all these energies onto the supervisor. The supervisor was anyway having a very difficult day. He couldn't understand what's happening to him. And he went to the shop floor with people who were working at the ground level. And he started giving them instruction in the harshest of the voice. And all the workers were very disturbed. And one of them, when he went home, he was very disturbed. And when he went home, he couldn't carry off that burden off the head. He reached home late. He went for a drink, reached home drunk. And when his wife asked him, why are you so late? He just slapped her. And the lady was dazed. What's wrong with him? And when she had nothing to say, because if she would have retaliated or questioned him, it would have become a big domestic violence. The little child, they had a child who was 4 years old. He looked at what is happening. And when the child went and started asking the mother, what happened to you? Why did dad slap you? The mother slapped the child. So this is how the radiation from the boss continued to the little child. And this child was so surprised, was shocked, didn't know what to do. He was playing with a toy. So he picked up the toy, threw it, broke it into pieces. So if we cannot live consciously, cannot live with mindfulness, we are going to break our lives like the child broke the toy. So this is very important. And this lesson, I always tell this story to all the people to make them understand that wherever you are, maybe the boss or the supervisor or the manager, whoever you are, whichever level you are in, please understand everybody has a life, everybody has emotions, everybody has reactions, and everybody is going to throw this reaction somewhere, which may not be very, very helpful, which would not be happy. So at the end of the day, let's not break lives. If we start living consciously, living with mindfulness, we are living spiritually, practically. So practical spirituality is very important. So I hope I'm able to answer the question of how important it is to have the right relationship with self, to create a relationship around us, and have the right frequency of living joyously, because after all, we come as humans on this world to make it a better place and not to break lives.
Absolutely. This is so true in so many different people's lives. I mean, we've heard similar stories, and we've seen that dynamic with boss and the employee, or people at home. And this is very, very true, very relevant story that you shared. I want to ask you this, and it's very true what you said. We should be neutral, non-reactive, just kind of take a step back and assess what's going on. Perhaps they are having a bad day. Not everything is about us.
Yes.
When I teach my communication skills, the interpersonal communication skills to my students, and a lot of them, they're very seasoned professionals and executives, this is one of the most important things that I teach. It's about understanding the audience. An audience is not a set of 500 people you're speaking on a stage in front of. It's even one-on-one, whoever you're speaking with, and whatever their reactions are. And one of the tools that I give them is C, and I'm just going to mention it because it really talks about, it connects with what you're saying. C is S-E-E. The first S stands for smile. So when you're in a situation like that, first smile to yourself and protect yourself, that it's okay. I still love you. I still love myself, even though the boss is getting upset or somebody else at home is getting upset. Smile to the other person, again, looking at the situation, right? And just ask them, is there something I'm sure you're very stressed. Is there something I can help with? Or what's happening? What's bothering you? I do that a lot of times myself, and that really helps calm the person down, because for most of us, there's so much happening up here in our heads. There's a lot of burden on our shoulders, and nobody who looks at us sees that, right? It just comes out, right?
Yes.
Second one is eye contact, that loving, nurturing eye contact. And the third one is energy. I talk about positive energy, and that positive energy reverberates. When I give you a smile and a positive energy, you'll sense it, you'll give it back to me in a positive way. But same for negative energy, just like you said, it has a ripple domino effect and a very detrimental effect, which is so clear from your story. So from that point of view, how do we not react, and be neutral? How do we do that? That seems very challenging. And us as human beings, we've trained ourselves to react. How can we untrain, create them? And especially in those tough times, what do? A lot of us are taught to count till 5 or 10 or take deep breaths. What is more practical to do?
The best tool which we can use, which is within our system, is breathe. Now, how to breathe is very important. People say, okay, breathe. But how to breathe is very important, and why breathe? Whenever we encounter such situations, we first have to be aware of yourself and your thought process. I am listening to the word. Where is that word going in my head? What is that experience it is creating for me? Which is that emotion which is getting triggered in me? If these three questions are addressed along with your breath. Now, when we take breath, when we are stressed, the oxygen levels are not filling in our lungs. Now, let me talk about the scientific aspects of stress. It is not filled in our lungs. So when we are short of breath, we cannot think clearly. The circulation of breath is not complete. So we cannot think clearly, and there is only an emotion which is getting triggered. So all the problems come up because of the emotions being triggered, but the head not at work. But if you are aware about the emotions and your breath is deep, you are allowing the oxygen to go into your head to make you understand. The heart is creating the emotion, but the mind is blocked. So then you're only connecting to that particular emotion which the person is radiating to you, and you're becoming a part of it. And the domino effect begins. So you have to take a deep breath so that your lungs are filled with oxygen and your mind is able to think clearly. So when you think clearly, you understand it is nothing to do with me. That person's story, that person's monkey, that person's drama, it's okay. You are just a spectator. Or maybe you are just that person who came in at the wrong time. So this emotional baggage was bounced on you. So you have a right to become a wall and bounce it back without uttering a word, without getting affected, without leaving any scars on you. So you will have to, and no sooner you leave the room from where this whole episode has happened, cut the cords. When I say cut the cords is take a deep breath and say, I let go everything. It is nothing to do with me. It's over and out. And you step out, the person fresh and having done your work. So you carry that satisfaction within you and it's done. But these practices will come in when you regularly practice conscious living and mindfulness. Again, it comes to the two important things of mindfulness and conscious living. Now, conscious living is about being aware, like I said. When you're aware that it's nothing to do with you, the endocrine system is still at play. Your dopamine is not reduced. Your serotonin is not reduced. Nothing is reduced. The happiness hormones are still at place. But if you allow that chemical reaction to be thrown on you, then you're going to get burnt. So you have to just breathe, be relaxed, understand that that's whatever the person is doing, it is his story. And do you want to be a part of the story? It's your choice. And if you don't want to, you're saved. So that story ends there. It will not go out to the extent of breaking yourself, breaking your life.
That is very profound and so practical. And I think as we start being conscious and doing conscious living and being mindful, we can be more conscious of it, because you rightly said, we really get vacuum sucked into that emotion, whatever that emotion. So just to summarize what you said here, first breathe carefully, or first catch that, this is not about me, right? It's probably about that person. Maybe they're going through a rough spot. Second, you also mentioned create that wall in front of you, or create like a shield in front of you or around you so that you're going to protect. Third, start your breathing practice and give them some space and walk away. And when you walk away, you let out a deep breath and cut the cord. And that whatever I just experienced, I'm not going to bring
it's over.
them.
Yes.
It's not about me. Not everything is always about me. In terms of breathing, do we take 5 breaths, 10 breaths, 3 breaths?
Don't count.
We
don't count.
Okay.
Just take deep breaths till you feel comfortable.
And isn't it going to be awkward when we're going to be in front
of everybody? What you have to do is, there is a trick to doing this.
Okay.
When you are taking deep breaths, don't close your eyes. Okay. Because it's going to be very evident. Okay. You don't want to fall in a soup that's going to anger the person more. So you're not going to do that. You will only be open, but your focus will be on your breath. You're not going to do anything obvious. Okay, because you're in front of a boss. So you definitely don't want to do that and be fired. So you're just going to be there and you will be focusing so that the outside sound doesn't matter anymore. Because you're only focusing on your breath. That, okay, how am I breathing? How does the breath feel? Where is it reaching me? You're shifting your awareness from the external environment to the inward environment. Yeah, and then the chattering of the mind is going to stop, and the heart's connectivity to the emotion is going to stop. And you will not be, like, it is basically like, they're energy vampires, right? Who just looking out to whom to hang on to and suck your blood. So you're going to look at it like, I am safe and I'm breathing happily. So the energy vampire is not around me. It's that sort of a thing. You're just chucking it out. Yeah, I don't want that, but you're doing it consciously. It is not that you're telling your subconscious, now come on, come on, come on, breathe, breathe, breathe. No, you're going to stay focused on your breath, because this is going to anger the person more, and going to be a vampire sticking onto your neck to suck you. So that's very important, that when you're doing this breathing, stay focused on your breath, and breathe in till you feel completely relaxed. Till then, the story is over.
Okay, sounds good. So we just focus on our breath. And when I focus on my breath, I'm just from my mind's eye, I'm just literally watching my breath go in and out, even with closed eyes, but open eyes here.
And I've noticed this, that when we start doing this, the outside sounds, the volume goes lower, even if it is very high.
I love it. I'm going to start using it right away, not just in meditation, but in real life too. And it also just prevents you from any kind of retaliation or reaction.
Exactly.
Or any exchange of words which could be unpleasant. Love it. Love it. Breath.
And then you save your energy from any sort of a repentance later on, because that is very bad. That's very bad. That is an energy vampire within you. Any sort of a guilt, shame, doubt, all these things are very, very bad. They're negative emotions which harbor in the heart, and then your heart is full of grief then. Yeah. So to clear out that, it's very important that you keep your heart very, very gentle, very, very light, and just let go and see that what really matters to you is with you, and the rest is given away. Given back to from where it comes, give it back to the universe, whoever it belongs to.
Now, can you do anything to help them calm down?
Yes, we can, definitely.
Somebody who's important to you at work or in your real life?
Yes, definitely, yes. Now, if it is a spouse, a person whom you really care about, spouse or children or family, friends, it could also be a boss who's generally very good, but that day it's a rough day for him or her, and that's why this thing happens. Now, when we are in this zone of being calm, you can center yourself in your heart chakra. Okay, heart chakra, when I say it's a heart center, take a deep breath and allow the feeling of peace to be radiated to the person there on his heart. Okay, so what is happening is, you are at peace, you're radiating that peace to that person. So the volcano is going to slowly, the eruption is going to be slower, milder. Of course, eruptions would be there till it is over and out, but it will at least be milder. It would not be that bad a scene, will not create that bad a mess. Now, when you see somebody angry, if it is somebody very close to you and with whom you are going to have continued relationships, there you can invest your energy. I would call it as investment of energy, because we are all energy. There's nothing in the world except energy, and that's a limit. The reason why I say limit is our life is limited. We cannot keep investing our life in others' dramas, right? Emotional dramas. So whenever you feel that there is a person whom you're really worried about, you're concerned about, with whom you would want to have a long-time relationship, it could be your workplace or the family. Of course, you should definitely do this for exercise, which I'm going to mention. Whenever there is encounter such a situation with a spouse or your child or with your family members, your friends, you only have to take a deep breath in. And when you feel that your heart is at peace, you will feel an overflow of that peace radiating in your whole body. Center it in your heart, and from there, radiate it to the person to whom you want to radiate. It could be your child, and we will radiate it to their heart. So because all outrages, whichever we see, the anger, frustration, whatever it is, the underlying thing is there's something negative emotion associated to it. So when we are calming them with our frequency of peace, it will normally gel down. It will come down. The volcano will not erupt. I will not say to stop erupting, but for that part of time, it's going to come down, and you will be able to communicate as a normal human being. You will be able to communicate. That's very, very important, because when there is a drift in communication, wherever there is a drift in understanding, drift in emotions, that is where all the problems start. So we can definitely do this exercise of deep breath, calming our mind, our body, and having that effect in our whole body. Center it in your heart. From your heart, give it out to the person in their heart chakra with the intention that may peace be with this person. right? Do not put in any of your strong intentions there. It is just that, may peace be with this person, and peace would normally be there. So I use it with my son as well, because sometimes the youngsters, they have their own stories. So whenever I feel that he's getting angry because of something XYZ, and I'm not reacting to it, he's seeing that I'm very calm, then now of course he understands what I'm doing, and I've seen that it calms him down. So then we can have a communication, get the thing sorted out. So once we are able to calm ourselves and have the energy of peace within our heart, center it well, and pour it out to the person. Just exude it out, radiate it to the person with whom you are having the tiff at that point of time. No, I wouldn't say tiff, the person who is in turbulence. So just allow it to be with that person with the intention that may peace be with that person. Do not send any harsh, strong intentions there, because you don't want to control that person. You only want to calm that person. So then you're going to say, may peace be with this person. And over time, you will notice within 10 to 15 minutes, I have seen even the most angered people calming down and able to sit across the table and have a gentleman's conversation.
Wow.
So this is how far it goes.
That's incredible. So incredible. And like you said, everything in this world is energy. We're energy. Our cells are vibrating at energy. The atoms and molecules and neutrons and protons, everything is energy. And Einstein's E is equal to mc squared. It's
square, yes.
And energy just kind of changes forms, and nothing else, nothing destroyed or anything. It's just transfer of energy. And that's what you're talking about. From our heart's energy, we can radiate that energy and share it with other people and help them feel calmer. All right.
Yes.
So this is extremely, extremely practical and insightful, what you shared about, dealing with people who are having either a tough time or who are exploding or who are not treating us the way we should be treated because of whatever reasons. And thank you so much for giving us those tools that we can actually start implementing right away. I would love it if you could tell us, what should we do, perhaps on a daily basis or 2-3 times a week. You tell us how frequently you want us to do this, for ourselves to get the maximum benefits into our lives for abundance, financial abundance, career growth, relationships, communication, and personal well-being, both emotionally and physically, and just have a fantastic life overall. Is there something we could do on our own?
Okay, now this is something like we need how to have practical spirituality being practiced on a regular basis. Yeah, so what we can do is, these are some simple tricks which I would like all of you to understand and try it out. It is not because I'm telling that you do it. It has helped a number of people, and I'm sure somewhere it may help you, but there's no harm in trying it out. Whenever you feel that you are not able to attract the right opportunities for your business, for your career, your clients, you can meditate on the color red. I will talk about color meditation here because even that is very, very profound. Colors have frequency, and red color is connected and associated to our root chakra. So everything material which we need in our life, it is like connected to our root chakra, grounding. Money is manifestation of energy in a measurable way. We are able to understand energy in the form of money. Money is nothing but energy. And that energy comes in and is associated to our root chakra. So whenever you feel that you are not able to attract, you're not able to work right, we are not being very aware about how to get in more opportunities or to be in a state wherein you attract wealth in your life. So financial abundance, red color, very important. Now, how to use this red color? You may wonder, how do I do this? What red color? Yes, what do I do with it? You only have to close your eyes, take 7 deep breaths, and visualize all your breath settling down in your root chakra. And this root chakra expanding, getting energized, connecting to the core of Mother Earth, and you drawing the energies of material well-being into your life through this core of the Mother Earth right into your root chakra. When you're going to do this particular exercise, and this you can do anywhere, whether you're standing, you're sitting on a chair, you're sitting on a yoga mat, wherever you are, It's a place which is a decent place, except don't do it in the washroom, please, and not in your bath time. In the bath time, there is a different exercise, which I will again add on. But this one can be done anytime. You can also do it early in the morning if you have a business meeting which you want it to be materialized. So do this exercise and sit down on your bed, touch the ground with the palms, both your palms on the floor. Why do we do this? Now it may seem that this is like a yoga asana. I would say there's a science behind that. When we are sleeping, the blood flow is not on our head. Our brain is not getting the right amount of circulation of blood. So when you are doing this, touching the floor, your head comes down, you're able to allow the blood flow into your head as well. This helps in certain clarity. Oxygen flow into your brain is right, and you will be able to work right. So first thing for financial abundance is the meditation on the color red, base of your spine, connecting to Mother Earth and drawing in the energies of material manifestation. If it is overactive, you may wonder. Sometimes you feel very enthusiastic, everything is right, but somewhere something is not working. That means there is an imbalance. Your red color is become more profound. So anything in excess is not good. I said be in the neutral gear, right? So you will have to balance it with the color green. Now, why do you balance it with the color green is you associate the emotion to that particular material accomplishment which you want. So first thing for financial abundance, focus on red to get it right, and you're able to attract what you want in life. The next is about relationships. Now, relationships is all, like I said, about how you communicate. So visualize on the color blue. Color blue is the color of calmness. It helps you to talk words which are full of compassion and peace. And the other thing, water is also the one which can be which is formed in a tsunami also. So your harsh words can also create havoc. Be very careful. How do you balance it? Again with the heart. Focus on the color green and then use the words through your color blue. So you will be meditating on color blue, and if you feel you're getting very harsh, meditate on the color green, so you have the right communication. Clarity of thought to understand how you can go ahead in life. How do you make the right decisions? How do you be a good leader? And how your choices, because we are all, after all, at the end of the day, the personalities based on the choices we have made in the past. So you will focus on the color indigo. Now, indigo is about the Ajna chakra, which is the center of the eyebrows. Meditate on that. When I say meditate, you may wonder how to meditate. Just close your eyes and visualize that color in this particular area. You only have to focus on two things: the region where it is and the color. These two things, and sync it with your breath. When you're able to do it, clarity will set in, because there will be a peace within you. Where there is peace, everything is possible. So I always tell people, if you are peaceful, everything is possible. So if you want to manifest, I would wind it up again like this. If you are having problems with your financial abundance, focus on the color red. If you feel it is overactive, balance it with green. If there is a problem with regards to relationship, focus on the color blue, balance it with the color green. If it is to do with the choices you make, having clarity of thought and the decision making, then focus on the color indigo and balance it with the color blue. So this is how you balance these three aspects of your life using colors, and it is very simple. You don't need any tool. All you need is your breath, which you have it with you, and you only have to close your eyes and visualize. If you cannot visualize, feel the sensation in that particular part of the body, because everybody may not be visual. You may be kinesthetic, you may be experiencing it. So experience it there. Allow it to be in your beingness. When I say beingness, it's like when we are happy, you ask, where are you happy? Children would say tummy. That's what generally they say, I feel happy here. So for everybody, it's different. So let it be in your whole body. And then you will become that magnet who will be ready to reclaim all your riches, which is always yours.
Absolutely. This is fantastic. Really, really great. And then what about our health and well-being? What colors do we want to meditate on?
For the physical wellness, you need to focus on all the chakras, because each chakra is associated to the organs. So we cannot say if the liver is okay, it's okay if the kidney is not fine or the heart is not fine. Everything has to be fine. So we have to focus on all the chakras for physical well-being. And more you move your body, more activation happens at the physical part of the chakras. because energy vortexes, they are like energy sockets. We cannot see energy, but if we switch on the switch, we see the light, and that is the energy. So energy cannot be seen, but it can definitely be felt. It can be experienced, and its working is always something which is seen as an effect. So we have to always focus. We have to be more into understanding our own energy. So if you want physical well-being, all your chakras have to be in right state, right alignment, right frequency.
Fantastic. This is so amazing. Now, in terms of sound, do we incorporate sound? Can we listen to any music? But you had also said there has to be specific vibration. What do we do there?
Right, right. Yes, it is very specific. Like I say, sound is medicine. We cannot pop any pill for anything. It's very important, because everything, our organs have got physical hertz, and our body has a physical hertz, like a body has a temperature. The same way, even sound has a right notation, and that right notation has to be used for specific conditions. Like when I'm working with sound in the oncology sections, I'm using very, very specific sounds based on which region of the body, which organ is being affected, which system has been affected. If it is a person with insomnia, they will have a different. If there is a person having depression, it would be a different frequency. For everybody, it's a different frequency. Along with that, there is also a vibration which has to be there. I have noticed that there are a number of YouTube videos which shows the hertz and everything. It's all only psychoacoustic. There's no vibroacoustics. So vibroacoustic is when you can feel that resonance. I can only hear the resonance. I can only hear the sound. I can hear the vibration. What about the resonance in the body? If there is no resonance, that means it is only till your head, you're listening, it's over. So it would probably give 10, 20% or 30% of the results expected. It can calm you down, make you happy, but it would not be a phase of treatment. So we need vibroacoustic along with psychoacoustic, and that is where I use sound in different forms. I use sound in the form of the singing bowls. I use sound in the form of musical instrument. I use it in the form of the tuning forks, the gongs, the solfeggio pipes, including my voice, through which I guide. So voice is one instrument which we are all embedded with, so we can definitely use it for our own well-being. So yes, sound is profound and very, very specific. It's a science, not just you play a bowl and you feel, oh, I'm feeling good. So be very careful, because I have had cases wherein people have come in telling we have experienced sound, and now we have the migraine, which was not in action for the past 12 years, it's come back again. Not in action for 2 decades, it's come back again. And they say we don't ever want to do sound. Now this has been the cases where they've gone to the healers. So I tell, healing is different, treatment is different. Please be very careful. If you're using sound for your general relaxation, it's okay, because it's not going to have any side effect. But if you're taking it as a treatment, please be very careful, because sound which makes can also break. Sound waves are also used in lipotrophy, that is to break the kidney stones. And sound is also used to put people to sleep, like in insomnia. So sound has got huge, I can say it's a huge bracket. We have to be very careful about how we use it.
Wow, wow, incredible. We would have never known about the impact of sound. So I see some amazing instruments right next to you. Are these the ones you use for creating those vibrations?
Yes.
What do they sound like? What do you, can you show us a little bit?
Yeah, now I would show you first the singing bowl. Yeah. So you can hear this, the vibration, which is for a longer period of time. So this is the effect which helps heal. And then I'm going to show you the solfeggio pipes, the ones you can see behind me. It's actually a combination of 11 pipes. I'll just play one for you. And then I have the sitar here, which is an Indian classical instrument, right? So we have a special setting for this, and we like I play the sitar then. And then there is the happy drum, which is played. So I can play this a little bit for you to have a feeling of how it sounds like. So it's like a child's play. Anybody can play this happy drum. And I like specific notation. So I always pick up instruments based on those specific notations. And in fact, when I was recently giving a concert at an international music festival, I used this instrument along with the hang drum and of course, the singing bowls. We had 21 singing bowls, the big boss gong, and solfeggio pipes. So that was a big concert by itself. And
Wow.
it turned out to be beautiful, and it was like amazing, I can see. I really enjoyed, and so did the participants. So yes, this happy drum is one of my favorite because it's more like a child's play. You can just play it like, but solfeggio pipes and all these are very, very specific. The singing bowls are very specific. The gongs are very specific as to how you use it for healing and for treatment.
Wow, this is beautiful. The sounds, just one thing of that, it just sounded so good. It just brought us to either a monastery or a temple or a church. It was just lovely. And I could just kind of feel the energy. I could just kind of feel concentric circles of energy. Like you said, different people experience it different ways. I also wanted to just highlight here, because when people think spiritual, they think religious, but what you are doing, what you are talking about is not related to religion. It's just related to what? Tell us, like our beings, our inner beings, which we all have. If you could tell us a little bit about that, just to clarify.
In fact, I would say that people who are spiritual are non-believers of God. It is the other way around. They don't believe in religion at all. Because spirit is the same in every human being, in every living being, I would say. So we connect to our own spirit and we feel that the God dwells within us. We don't have to go out seeking God. If you are able to clear up the mess which has been created over centuries within us through our DNA getting, the beliefs coming up. So if you are able to rectify that aspect and bring in more awareness and live consciously, mindfully, we will be able to awaken the God within us. That is the spirit. So in fact, people who think it is anything to do with religion, I would say spiritual people are the other aspects. They are the other side of the coin, which never meets with the other side which says religion, because spirituality doesn't believe in looking outside, whereas religion looks for the God outside. So aesthetics is what I would say spiritual people are. They don't believe in God.
Got it.
And many people think if it is spirituality is all about wearing an orange dress and going away to the Himalayas, having long hair and just singing the bhajan. It's nothing to do with that. It is just understanding the spirit within you, aligning it with your beingness, the physical being, and living the life as you are supposed to be living, serving the highest purpose. So that's what spirituality means to me, and that's what I generally tell people. They ask me, which religion do you belong to? I say, I'm an Indian and I'm a spiritual person. That's what I can say. I practice spirituality. I would not say spiritual person. I just practice spirituality. That means I live with mindfulness and conscious living. So, and the other aspect is spirituality unites. It sees the spirit in every other person and tries to understand their stories, their journeys. Whereas religion divides. It divides as you are a Christian or you are a Hindu or whatever. Religion divides. It's actually a way of dividing people. When in reality, if we live as humans, we don't need religion. It is everybody is living with consciously, everybody's understanding the law of karma, everybody is very mindful of what they do, talk, whatever in their regular life, including how they breathe, and live with gratitude, then they don't need any religion. So my take on this is spirituality is the other side of the coin, which doesn't meet religion.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for those insights. Absolutely. And that's, for some of us, it's a different way of perceiving things. but again, you're kind of bringing the humanity and you're bringing our mindfulness into our everyday livings for the most profound living experience for each one of us, and a united living experience and a harmonious living experience with each one of us. So Dr. Singhi, this has been amazing, really, really enlightening, invigorating, energizing conversation, and very musical. Thank you so much. Really, really enjoyed it. And I'm going to personally start using a lot of the tips that you said, and I hope our audience is going to use them too. Where can we find you?
You can find me, visit my website, which is www.sujatasinghi, that is SUJATASINGHI.com. And there you will find me, and you can read my blogs, which is all about mindfulness, financial abundance, the 5 pillars of financial abundance, which is quite interesting, will interest many of you right now, about living consciously, being mindful, how sound is used as medicine. So I guess most of the thing would be more of a revision reinforcement when you read those blogs. So please read them. It will be helping you. You can find my book on Amazon. There are gifts waiting for you when you enter the website. So yes, there is a wonderful frequency which has been recorded, acoustically recorded. That is, I've played the instruments, which will help you boost your immunity and also help you be stronger deep within. So awakening your true self through that music. Please practice it for 21 days and you will see a transformed you. There are also various workshops which have come up. It's all been put up on the website. There's a colors workshop, which is specifically for emotional intelligence, which I do it for corporates. I do it for schools and colleges and universities. It's done for everybody, including the bureaucrats of the country. So please use it and you will see your life transform, because at the end of the day, you attending the workshop is going to be an investment of a lifetime to transform your lives. Live a life of financial abundance, loving relationships, a healthy mind, body, and soul, and finally, living the life of your purpose. So do read the book Power of Sound for greater insights. Reclaim Your Riches coming up in July. Don't forget to read that book. It's all about vibrations, all about you becoming the magnet to attract the life you want, effortlessly, joyously. So do join in. Go into the website, find a home for yourself there for whatever you're seeking, because yes, I try to give in whatever I can through that particular link. So yes, gifts waiting for you. Don't forget to claim them. And any questions, email. There are emails there. So you can definitely email, ask for queries, and you can stay connected. So I guess if you need anything else, please tell me so I can add that too.
Okay, sounds good. So we will find you at www.dr.
No, Sujata Singhi, not doctor.
Okay, so we will find you at sujatasinghi.com, and you can see the link below in the details in the show notes. And Dr. Singhi has been very kind to share some very beneficial gifts with us. One of them is her compilation of the music that she shared, and the second one is the digital copy of Power of Sound. The Power of Sound is available on Amazon for a limited period of time, only for about 5 days, because Amazon has royalties related to that. So you can receive that for the 5 days since when we are going to launch this episode of our show. But the sound gift, which is going to be her compilation of the music, which is healing music, which you can listen to at your convenience. That is available at her website. So again, www.sujatasinghi.com/sound gift. So you're gonna see the link over here, and you can find it again at the website www.sujatasinghi.com/sound gift. So Dr. Singhi, this was a true pleasure. Very, very informative, very, very invigorating. We just can't thank you enough for taking the time to be with us and to share this wealth of knowledge for creating abundance in our lives in so many different ways. And we look forward to checking out some of the other things, your work and other retreats, etc., that you have on the website And if anybody has questions for her, she would be delighted to receive your questions via email. Again, the link should be found on her website. So thank you again. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So one last tip to all of you, stay mindful, remind yourself to be very, very conscious about what you think, and don't forget to breathe. Thank you so much. Stay safe, stay at home, and wishing all of you a happy, financially abundant, and a healthy life. God bless all of us. Thank you.
So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, if you would like to become a confident, articulate, and engaging speaker, please do check out our free course on speaking with confidence for maximum influence. The link to the course is in the details below.